Hey, what's going on, friends? Time for another weekly wisdom with the one and only Coach Mike Basovic. Coach Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you, Zach?
Doing very well. Week's off to a good start.
Good.
I know that a lot of people look forward to these weekly wisdoms, and we already have some viewers tuning in, so that's awesome. Today, you want to talk about wandering aimlessly through life. You need to stop doing that, and so many people find themselves in that on that path at times in their lives.
Yeah, most people do, unfortunately. I hope you had a good weekend. I wanted to ask you that first. And
It was wonderful. I've been doing some dog sitting for my mom. She's on this really nice, cushy, long cruise in Europe, and she has these two bulldogs. She has a French bulldog and an English bulldog. And I'd say what they just make messes all over the house. So it's like I am burnt out on dog duty right now. And the
I've got
thing
three
is,
of them. Yeah, two of them are in
I
this room
know.
here. Yeah.
Well, do they sleep in the same room with you? Do they have to sleep in bed with you guys?
No, they are not allowed up on the bed or furniture, but they're always around. So Luca, the old lady, she's like 11 and a half. She's always in like the utility room. She spends all day there. But then at night she sleeps by us on the floor. And then the other two, we have a labradoodle and a bernedoodle. And the one's right in front of me, and then one is right behind me. So they're always where I am. And he usually there's a landscaper outside that he's fixated on, but usually he's at my feet when I do these live. So if I stand in front of my camera system here, he's at my feet. But now he's got some activity outside. They're spraying for something. So, but I had a good weekend too. I had my second ever hole in one
Oh, that's
in
right.
golf, and
Congratulations.
and it was fun. And that's why my voice is a little scratchy because there was a little celebration, and then I had a group out there yesterday that was playing golf, and we had more celebration, and then we watched the Bears game, and the Bears won, so that was fun. But anyway, the and if you remember, and we could tie this into our conversation today, I predicted the hole in one at our live event with our clients in March in Naples, and I hadn't had a hole in one for almost 26 years, and I only had one other one, and I said I'm going to get one this year. And I set that as my goal in writing. If you remember, we were at the live event. Yeah, you were there. Do you
I
remember
was
that?
there. I do recall that.
Yeah. And that's what we want to, really tie in today to the conversation is, excuse me on my voice here, but it's people, they go through life when they're young. They've got all these goals. They've got all these outcomes and these dreams that they want, and they start losing their way. And they start losing their way when they start being conditioned into a life, either that what their parents want for them or what society wants for them or what they think they're supposed to be doing instead of finding their passions. And so many young people I speak to, they have no idea what they want to do with their life. And so many executives and professionals that come to our programs, we say, well, what do you want the ideal life to look like over the next year? If we could solve all the problems, and by the way, he just came by my feet. He figured, okay, enough of the landscaper. Let me get back to my position here. And if they like I said, what do you want over the next year of your life? What does the ideal life look like if we could solve these problems that you're dealing with? And a lot of people don't know. They just say, well, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to be, stressed and anxious. And I'm like, okay, great. But what's the ideal picture? And so many people just don't know. When they send us their initial vision, they'll have the don't wants. They'll say, well, I'd like to sleep every night without waking up stressing. Or I'd like to feel good without frequent headaches. That's not a goal. That's not a vision. That's a focus still on the problem. And so many people are fixated on the problem, but there's just this lack of teaching young people and adults to, number one, find and follow your passions, no matter what. I don't care how long you've worked in a career. I'm not telling you to go quit your job, leave your marriage and all that stuff, but you've got to find what makes you feel good. And you've got to have that clear destination. But what we also teach our clients that any goal that you're setting, any outcome that you're choosing, like I did with the hole in one this year, you're making a choice just like you would order off a menu. And that's how precise this environment we live in as humans. It's a system that is so precise and so scientific, and it will always do what the observer, which is me in my case, in my life, and you in your life, what they expect it to do. So I literally made a choice in March and said, yeah, I'm going to get my second hole in one this year. Now there's luck involved. There's serendipity, but as we teach, there really is no luck. There's really no serendipity. There's just creation. And you're always going to create in line with your state of being. So if my state of being is calm and certainty and relaxed and excitement, then I'm going to get more of that, and including that hole in one. And I thought it was really beautiful because we've got a live event coming up next week. And it happened the Friday before the live event next Friday. So, or this coming Friday, which I thought was really cool. But we try to teach people that. We want to get them really clear on their vision, what life looks like, and then, get their beliefs in line with it. And then it's just going to unfold organically and naturally. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And you always really harp on staying in that high vibrational place.
Oh, yeah.
And that wouldn't have been possible if you were in a completely low place or low vibrational energy, because, you can only create when you're in that high vibrational place.
Well, you create
right?
any vibrational state. It's a system
Okay.
that's working perfectly. So, but unfortunately, when you're in that lower vibrational place that we call resistance, when you're in that state of being, stress, worry, fear, anxiety, overwhelm, anger, pessimism, disappointment, frustration, you're going to create in line with that. So that's why so many people who are struggling financially and they're focused on it, they're constantly creating new obstacles financially, and they can't get ahead. Or people that struggle in relationships, they have a belief in their subconscious somewhere that relationships are tough, or the current relationship they're in is tough, or they don't deserve to be in a great relationship. And they're going to create tension in their current relationship, or they're going to keep the perfect relationship away from them. That's just how it works. And whether you believe in people call it woo-woo and stuff, well, it's science. And there's a thing from a couple hundred years ago called the double slit experiment. And they were shooting, I'm not a quantum physicist or scientist, but they were shooting, I want to say,
right?
these waves. What's that?
Particle waves, right?
Yeah, particle waves. They're shooting these waves through these slits. And whoever was the observer, whatever scientist was observing at the time, or both, whatever they expected to happen would happen. So they either went in a straight line, they went all over the place, they did whatever the observer did. Now, when nobody was observing them, they did something completely different. So if that energy is we're that same energy in matter, then it's that simple. We're going to get what we expect to get in life. Now, how do we gauge and monitor our expectations? We do it by paying attention to what we're thinking and feeling, because that's a reflection of our current state of being, and what we believe in life. So if you believe, and there's another piece to the attachment I'll get to in a second. What you believe in life is going to happen, whether it's a belief in line with what you ultimately want or a belief in line with what you don't want. But the beliefs never lie, and your beliefs will always create your reality. So in the live event this week, we're really going to not only eliminate limiting beliefs that anyone might have, and we've got a whole bunch of successful people in one way, shape, or form coming, but some areas in life maybe want to get to that next level. And so we're going to eviscerate all the old limiting beliefs, but we just can't say I believe something and make it true, because you've got a lifetime of experiences and data that you've collected to form that belief. A belief is nothing more than a prolonged way of thinking. So if you've cemented that belief in your mind, it's going to take some proof and some, I don't want to say negotiating, but some discussion with your mind to change that belief, because you've got to make the new belief believable. And then when you start believing that it's possible, then it's going to start taking shape. And that's the work we're going to do at the live event this week. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So bottom line is, you've got to have that clear picture of where you're going in life. You can't, and I'll get to all the other stuff in a minute, but you can't just wander around aimlessly without a vision, without, think about if you get in your car and start driving with no destination in mind, you're not going to get very far, unless you're just going for a cruise and listening to music in the sunshine. That's different. But I'm talking about, okay, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to go somewhere, but I have no idea where. And that's how most people go through life. Make sense?
It makes total sense. And I think what people maybe struggle with is that inability to create that vision and actually know where they're going, because they are so focused on the problem still. And that's, as you put it, within just, the first week of the program, when you work with people, it's getting them out of that mess. They've been on that cycle of just focusing on the problem. And so that's where the foundation begins.
Yeah.
It's taking your attention off that and putting yourself on a diet for the mind.
Well, you hear me say it all the time. We've been conditioned to struggle. We've been conditioned to stress. We've been conditioned to worry. Why? I mean, think about it. Is that why we're here? To stress and struggle and worry and obsess about our problems? Is that why you think we're having this like human experience? It's absurd. And yet the most fun we have is when we're having fun and we're enjoying ourselves and when we're, but that's not supposed to, but people feel guilty when they're enjoying themselves. Like we're supposed to be stressed. And people think if they don't stress, they don't care. That's BS. We all care, at least if you're committed, like we are, we absolutely care about our outcomes and our families and our clients and our friends and society and whatever. We care about everything. But what does obsessively worrying and stressing about stuff? But unfortunately, everyone's been conditioned to do that. And they've also been filled with a bunch of limiting beliefs about what they're capable of. And that happens all throughout the childhood, whether it's the grading system we've spoken about in the schools or whether it's their parents or what they think they're, hey, what do you think we're the Rockefellers, the old stuff that I used to hear when I was a kid. And you're literally conditioned to be playing small. And when you're conditioned to be playing small, now you're also going to pick up the habits of a parent or society about becoming a worrier or a stressor. And then when I say, there's no reason to ever stress or worry because you've had a hand in creating it, people have no idea what I'm talking about. I went to the bank this morning and the gal at the teller said, so what is this company that you do? And I told her, she goes, that's amazing. I need that. I said, everyone needs it because most people are stressed and anxious, right? I hear it all the time, every day. I need that. And she says, is there a way to not stress or worry? I said, of course, you should never stress or worry. I said, it's literally going to create more stress or worry. And she was easier said than done. And I said, just go to the website. And if I can help you, let me know. If we can help you, let me know, I said. And, but unfortunately, Zach, it's just that's like we're conditioned to be almost in misery and confusion. And then when we say, well, let's have this dream life, it's like, oh yeah, that would be great. Like, easier said than done. It is easy. It is easy when you take control of the mechanism, which is your mind, and you start directing that to what you want. And that all starts with what you said, that perfect vision. What does it look like? And if your imagination can think about it, you're on your way.
And just with the live event coming up, one thing that I remember that stuck out at one live event, I can't tell you which one it was. I've been to several of them now, but and you've said this many times before, but people let their mind control them, where the key is you actually control your mind.
Yeah.
And once you step into that power, anything is possible, as you're putting it. And I mean, that vision can become reality once you realize that you are the driver. You're the one driving your mind.
100% correct, everybody. And here's a great way to start communicating with your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is your co-pilot. I think we spoke about that last week. And it's always giving you feedback, but it's the feedback you're getting. Like everyone in self-help says, control your thoughts. Now you can always like direct your thoughts, consciously make a decision to think about this instead of that. And even though the mind's going to fight you for a while, but your thoughts always come from the state of being you're in. And the state of being is essentially the rate you're vibrating energetically. So if you're in a good mood, that's what people call it. You're in a state of being, a high frequency, high vibrational state of being energetically. Not like I can run through mountains, that too, but I mean from an energetic standpoint, you are in a state of being that I call acceptance, high vibrational. If you're in a low vibrational place, stress, anxiety, worry, fear, overwhelm, you're in anger, pessimism, you're in a low vibrational state. And unfortunately, most people are conditioned to spend a lot of time in that low vibrational state. And they say, well, it's because of my job. It's because of my industry. You have no idea what I'm dealing with. It's because of my mom's health or my dad's this or whatever. We all have that stuff going on. That's the human experience. But we're conditioned to be in states of being. We're in one area in our life. Relationships might be skyrocketing. Finances might be great, but health and well-being might not be good. Those are all different states of being in all different areas of your life. So if you learn how to monitor that, and you learn how to pay attention to that, the state of being, the subconscious is always giving you feedback by sending you thoughts and feelings. So if I have a thought, I'm afraid of the future, what if I lose everything? That's just a state of being of fear. It's the thought is the proof that you're in that state of being of fear. Or you have a thought, boy, I'm really worried about my health. You're in a state of being of worry. And the mind and body will now give you more to worry about. So in my life, when I was in that state of overwhelm and stress and anxiety years ago, 20 years ago, I had like this intense tingling. I'd go to the health club every morning and I was lifting weights and I was a young guy. So I was like, pretty active. And then by the time I got to my office around 8 a.m., my fingers would start tingling. And throughout the day, it would get worse. It would come up my arm and into the side of my face sometimes. And I was a fairly social guy, and and a lot going on. And I would never let it stop me, but I always felt that I was and I had a lot of chest pains and headaches. And if I drank alcohol, I'd be hungover, things like that. And I would go to doctor after doctor after doctor and say, "You're fine. Your vitals are great. And there's nothing wrong with you." And no one told me it was stress. But that's how powerful the mind and body connection is. I was experiencing it every day to the point that I thought I was having a heart attack, a stroke. My blood pressure was skyrocketing, even though I was in pretty good shape. And I'd eat a healthy diet most of the time, but I felt like garbage. And it was all based on the states of being I was in around health. I was always in fear. So the mind literally told my body, give this guy more fear because that's what he's choosing. So to your point earlier, when we were talking about like with the hole in one, it was a prediction. It's a choice. Everything that we want in life, just as simple as ordering off a menu at a restaurant. You don't like order the steak and then obsess if they're going to bring it or not. You just expect them to bring it, and you don't need it either, right? You're not like, okay, I'm hungry, but I'm not gonna. If I don't get the steak, I'll just get something else. And that's most of the time with people. So if we live life that way, by choosing and by focusing on that outcome, but not needing it, and just knowing it's coming, it's going to come. That's how simple it could be. So imagine if you got clear on that vision of where you want to go in your life and what you want to have in your life, then you get in a state of being that mirrors that. And takes some work to do that. I mean, it's not, our process with our clients takes, we do this short several weeks, but once you get in that state of being and then the beliefs mirror what you want. So you ultimately develop a belief that you're going to have what you want in your vision. It has to happen. Mm-hmm. It's a law.
Yeah, real quickly. And this is obviously a little bit more what you go into throughout the program, but I'm sure that there's somebody watching right now, whether live right now or the replay, and they're thinking like, okay, well, say I can get clear on what I want. And they start thinking, okay, I want this, or I am doing this. But then their mind takes them back to, no, you don't do that. Yeah. So if the goal is to stay here in this high vibrational energy to have those beliefs in line with what you want, but their mind keeps taking them back to their current circumstance or their past failures, how do you work with that?
Well, we do a lot of things in the program, as you know. We literally have to put people on a diet for the mind to start because they're so toxic with what they're talking about, what they're focused on. They don't have a problem. If they just mirrored kids and dogs are great. They have an experience that could be, the dog might get yelled at for taking a slipper, doing something, or the kid might fall down on the sidewalk and skin their knee. And within 10 minutes, that experience is over and we're on to the next experience. Adults, we hang on to stuff, man. We don't just have the experience and experience it. We hang on to it. And then it leaves these emotional scars. So what we teach people through the process of stop fighting it. And you mentioned like staying in a high vibrational place. You're going to stay in a high vibrational place, but the guarantee is you're going to experience things that don't feel good in life. You're going to have situations that are challenges. You're going to have loss. You're going to have frustrations. You're going to have all these things. Stop fighting it. Don't try to be perfect. You have the ability to experience every emotion, every state of being. So we have the ability to experience resistance, but don't train your mind to be in resistance. And that's what most people do. And when you're trained your mind to be in resistance, the mind now goes looking for more things that don't feel good. It sounds sadistic. It's not. So we teach our clients that process of acceptance. They're no longer fighting their past, their future, their circumstances. And in fact, we don't even have them focus on their circumstances because a lot of their circumstances aren't what they want. We have them focused on their vision and their internal state of being, raising that vibrational frequency. And then the external world starts to change and you've got to stop the fight. And you've got to stop, because if we're looking for things to worry about, we will always find things to worry about. If we're looking for things that are wrong in our life or in this world, We're always going to find those too. We are self-fulfilling prophets. What we seek, we will find. So imagine seeking and expecting success and great relationships and ease and flow and being a luck magnet, right? A good luck magnet, right? That we teach our clients to be. And knowing that everything works out, whether you understand how or not, it's going to. And when you teach the mind, you make that decision to have that belief, to be that person, to have this vision and have it. Now you have conviction. Now the beliefs will line up for it and you're going to have it. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Speaking the fire today. I can hear it. I can hear it. As we run out of time here,
not bad after a lot of celebrating after the hole-in-one, right? And the Bears victory. You can't underestimate. I said it yesterday. Here's the run of the Super Bowl. I am a long-suffering Bears fan. Anyone that knows me knows that. And they looked like absolute garbage yesterday for about 35 minutes, and then they turned it around. So we're in. Yeah, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and for the Bears. But and that's the fun thing is, Zach, is that anyone that knows me in the program, I mean, we do transform lives, and we could take anybody from point A to bring them to point B and beyond in their life, but we're just regular people, right? We're just people that you've been around long enough around who my life, I enjoy golf, I enjoy sports, I enjoy socializing. I have a wonderful wife, we have a lot of fun, and it's just living life and having experiences. I know you're a musician, you're on-air personality, all the things that you enjoy doing, but that's what we're doing. And we follow our passions, and that's what people should be doing in their life. It's not about, stressing from Sunday afternoon to Friday afternoon about the week that you have and then enjoying yourself for 48 hours and feeling guilty about that because we got to get back to work, or we got to be back to be serious. We got, how about we enjoy ourselves 7 days a week while we're working, while we're engaging, while we have challenges, while we're like trying to solve problems, while we're trying to reach goals. Every self-help person will say, well, it's the journey, not the destination. Well, it is. But the journey is not supposed to be difficult either. The journey is supposed to be fun, and you're going to experience loss, and not just loss of like human life, because everyone's going to experience that too, but loss of a game, loss of an event, loss of a client, difficulty. We're going to experience that. And what the resilient people who stay in that high vibrational place, we call it the zone, right? In sports. And you saw, if you watched the Bears yesterday or some other team, you watched Detroit Lions last night, like I did, there's momentum swings. They're either in the zone or not in the zone. And when you're in the zone, good things happen. We teach our clients to get in the zone and stay in the zone as much as possible. No one can ever stay in it 100% of the time. Now, you've been around me long enough to know that I stay in it a lot, and magical things happen. But I have challenges too, and I don't stay in it all the time. And but I know how to go right back to it. So that's what we teach people, and that's the key. So when we get people in that high vibrational place, and we get them clear on their goals, and then we detach from anything. We don't need anything, because if you need something, you'll know this. What's your state of being?
You're in a state of being of need.
Yeah. And what are you going to get more of? Whatever your state of being is. So you're going to get more of needing it, needing money, needing love, needing affection, needing acknowledgement, needing anything. You've got to clear that state of being of need. But then when you drop the attachment, and you essentially don't give a shit. Excuse my language. I can say that, right? Essentially, when you don't care, but you just know, right? Like if I ordered a meal over the weekend, we went out to dinner Friday, and I forgot what I ordered. I ordered a salad. And if they didn't have the salad, let's say, oh, we ran out of lettuce. Well, great, give me something else. I sort of wanted a lettuce, but whatever. I'll take the steak, or I'll take whatever. And if you have life like that, and you say, okay, like, I know that things are going to work out for me. I know, and I believe, and I'm going to have my vision. It's not if, it's when. Then you're really in a magical place to make things happen.
Man, if that isn't some motivation that someone could use on a Monday, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and that's why the beauty of the hole-in-one, and I can't wait to talk about it at this week's live event. And I picked it. I said, all right, I'm going to really prove to you guys, and you've been to several live events. I always pick something like pretty, out there, and I've achieved every one of them. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what I'm going to pick, because we always, at the end of every live event, we make a goal sheet, and we have the next 6 months of what the outcomes that people want. And I remember saying to our live event group in March, I said, all right, I'm going to pick something. This hasn't happened to me in 25 years. I'm going to get a hole-in-one, okay, within the next 6 months. And now think about that. But I knew it. Now I wasn't obsessively thinking about it. I wasn't like every time I played a par 3 at a golf course and I didn't get one, I was like, oh, down in the dumps. I just knew it was going to happen. And I said to some of my friends during the summer, yeah, this is the year I'm going to get number 2 anytime now. And I'd smile about it. And I had that certainty, that belief, and then that magic happens. And yes, there's luck involved in a hole in one. And I'm a pretty good golfer, but there's luck involved in a hole in one. And I have some friends that are really good golfers that have never had one. And I have some friends that are good or average golfers that have had many. So, but it is that powerful that you can have it. You've just got to get the belief and the state of being in line with what you want, and then it happens.
Well, I can't say that I've ever had a hole in one playing real golf, but every single time I go play putt-putt, I always get at least one.
I love it. Yeah.
At least one. So I know that doesn't size up to your accomplishment this past weekend, but there's my faith and belief that if I play putt-putt.
Yeah, and it was expensive though, because every you have to buy drinks. So it never made sense to me why the guy that gets the hole in one has to buy all the drinks.
Oh,
But
wow. That seems
it
backwards.
happened on a Friday afternoon, and that's the busiest day for the course. So the bar bill was something, but I know we're in a hole in one club, so I know that they're going to credit my bill a good amount of money for the hole in one club. So I know I'm in the black on the day, but it certainly took a dent buying everybody a drink.
Well, I'm sure everybody was pretty stoked for you and happy and giving you a pat on the back saying,
Yeah, it was fun.
wow. So
All right.
well, I'm looking forward to this week with the live event coming up in Chicago. And of course, for anybody that's watching live or with a replay, excuse me, losing my voice like you. Anybody that's watching live or the replay and you're really resonating with what Coach Mike is saying today and you're ready to take that next step and learn a little bit more, just go to nolimitsnation.com. And that's where you're going to be able to watch a short training that Coach Mike put together. Any parting words before we wrap things up?
Yeah, well, we should say this at the beginning of it. I always forget, but if you like this, give it a thumbs up, comment below the video, share it with people, subscribe, and join our community because we've got stuff like this going on all the time. And, like the lady at the bank this morning, I don't want to see anybody suffer. I don't want to see anybody crippled with stress and fear. That's what my life was. And there's just no reason for it. I know you've got important things going on in your life, and that's great. But who's the person that's going to solve those important things? The person that's riddled with stress, overwhelm, anxiety, fear, or the person that's on their A game, right? The person that's resilient and clear-minded and resourceful in that zone. Which person's going to be better for your situation, your circumstances, your end result, your family, your clients, your customer, whatever? It's that person that's in the zone. So we've got to get you in the zone and keep you in the zone.
There you go. Get in the zone. That's the mindset that you need to be in this week. And of course, if you want some help, hit up the website, watch the training, and get connected to our community. Coach Mike, as always, fire.
All right, buddy. I'm looking forward to seeing you Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
And I'll see if I can create, I have to film with Zach on Wednesday. So I'm going to say, I need to bring my A game on Wednesday.
Oh, you will. I'm not worried about it the least bit.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
Zach.
I'll see you.